Speaking of the future and new contracts and things like that, how important is the academy to Cheltenham Town Football Club?
Well, it's very important, and to be fair, Antoine and Peter Haynes have done fantastic in John Murphy, who looks after it as well from a director's point of view. They've done a fantastic job. And there's a lot of real good kids in the academy at all ages. I get videos as well. You think I must 24 hours a day watching videos, but I find time. I do get videos of the under-18s and some of the younger teams, and it is looking strong. And they again have got an empathy. You know, they had their end of season do the other day that I know Russell went to. I'd love to have gone to myself, but I couldn't. And the atmosphere there, and you know, I think people are happy to belong to this football club at the moment. And when I'm at games, before my illness and at games, you know, always though the lads that are in our academy are never ever shy to come up to me and shake hands and say hello, you know, which is fantastic. So I think that, you know, I know people say this often, but the future does look bright, and you know, there's some very, very good players in our system. We hope to be signing one from the academy this year. Matty Bauer's done very well. He had a 2-year deal anyway, and he's still progressing. And I think as the age groups, as we get younger, there's probably more and more quality in those groups. So hopefully Antoine and Peter, and they will keep these players, and we can see them coming through in our lifetimes.
This Saturday brings to a close this season. How do you look back on it? Obviously, it's been a crazy season for you personally and professionally, and also how excited are you to get started for next season?
Well, to answer the second one first, I'm very excited because I feel as though I've missed out on a good period, even though, you know, I was working very hard to keep it going and help and play my part. But you know, the staff, it'll be the same staff, which I'm really pleased with. Nobody's asking me to cut any staff, and to be honest, we've only got one for each job, whereas other clubs have got 2 or 3 people for each job, you know, including your job. But yeah, I'm sure you're happy that you're in a job and you're on your own and you can do what you need to do. But and well done to yourself, by the way, because we thank you for all your bits and pieces, because that empathy can only be put across through media, and you know, so well done, mate. That's enough of you anyway. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I am gutted to have missed this last bit, but as I said, I think I've been involved enough that it's something that I can look back on later and smile about, because the 2 issues that I've had, one won't ever come back again, the second one, and the first one has made me stronger anyway with the heart, because I knew that was going to happen anyway. It's something that I've had over the years. It wasn't as if I got rushed in and had a heart attack and people had to, you know, pump you and electrocute you, all that sort of stuff. It was something I had to have done. Now I've had it done. Once I recover from it, which won't be long now, then it doesn't come back. So I'm sort of looking forward to the next part of my managerial career at Cheltenham Town Football Club.
How do you reflect on the season as a whole, as it comes to a close?
I reflect on it that we've had some icebergs. We call, you know, it's my saying, we had them last year and we got through them, and but we've coped with them. You know, the ones that you can think of is obviously me being in hospital, but and my staff cope with that. We'd lost Dan Holman, 20 goals, because, you know, he had a bad injury that lasted a long, long time. Stozzi's suspension, Pelly's suspensions, which, you know, was down to them too. That's not that we put them icebergs in the way ourselves, or they did. But we had several things that we had to manoeuvre around. But the lads always had the confidence in themselves and each other to get through it. And like we did when we won the conference, when we were neck and neck with Forest Green, and we had to make sure that we didn't implode and we didn't make any silly decisions, or, you know, so on and so forth. And we finished strong. Well, we've done exactly the same this year, because we was in a little bit of trouble. We was in the relegation zone for a little while. There was a few unlucky situations at games that maybe we could have won instead of drawn or whatever. but we've come through it, and you can only come through it with strong characters. Now you've got to get the character along with a squad of first division footballers, if you can, to then create that team that's going to be effective in the second division to challenge for a first division spot. And I'm sort of looking forward to that as well, because me and Pete, and the staff yesterday, we was here a long time looking at different players, Tim's expertise, and all the players that were available and free transfers and etc. etc. And we was able to look at a few that we'd already pinpointed, if you like, and so that was good. So we got 3 or 4 on the go. Of course, you've got to have your usual loans, because that helps with the budget, because you're only paying those people 40 weeks instead of 52. And if we can get loans like Scotty Brown, Manny Onureisi, as far as the big thing to me, Scotty Brown said on Saturday, was that he never felt like he was on loan, and that, you know, is a massive plus. A, for the lads, for the club, for the supporters. You know, Manny's enjoyed it. We've had other loans sort of come in and go out. Carl Watton was the same. You know, he said he'd enjoyed it. So yeah, credit to the football club, because we do make sure that if we bring in a loan and they play regularly, they become one of us very quickly.
It's looking very exciting for next year then, isn't it?
I think so. I think it is. It's definitely looking up. You know, I'm pleased that we've had to play a certain style to get out of trouble, if you like. That was my experience coming through, because I'd played sort of like the percentage game, if you like, a few years at Cambridge when we went up all the divisions, nearly all the divisions, just one game away from the Premiership from the old 4th division. And I know the percentage game, if people believe in it, it gets you percentage-wise up the other end more often than they get your end. So the percentage is, if you take your chances and make chances, it's better to do that. So we've done that because the pitch as well. We knew we had 4 or 5 more games on the pitch, not conducive as all other managers said. And it must have been hard for Gloucester City as well, because I know, you know, they'd like to play football as well, and it didn't really help either side. So now we've got a situation where we can look after it and make sure that we have a good surface. At that point, of course, then you can start having a little bit of percentage play when you need it, and a little bit of football when you need it. So you get players that can make the right decision at the right time and be the footballer that sees what's on, rather than a robot that kicks it up in the air and hopes. You know, we're gonna. You have to do a bit of both. You know, Glenn Hoddle never booted it up in the air, but when he did boot it up in the air, it generally landed at someone, and they never said he used to lump it. Do you know what I mean? And yet his 60-yard balls, everybody used to applaud. So so we hope to, you know, we get a team like that. So I'm looking forward to a healthy pitch in the second half of next season, because it was healthy right up until January, but then at that point we'd played a full season's number of games on it. But we worked that well, and we tried to work it in our favour. We conned a few people to say, you know, no, we're happy to play on it. And all the other managers, you look back, every one of them was negative about coming to our game. So, and they all put negatives in their players' minds, so that was good. So that our psychology weren't too bad during that time.
Just finally, we're starting to sell season tickets for next season already. I think we're just hitting the 100 mark. How important are season ticket sales for you, Pete, and all the staff when you're thinking about next season?
Well, we need about 2,000 season ticket holders before Monday when I meet the chairman for the budget. That would help. Listen, as always, I always thank the ones that do buy their season tickets. You can't make people buy season tickets. All you can hope is that they've seen the club trying to improve, trying to create an empathy with the club and its supporters, trying to bring in new ideas, the scoreboard, the pitch, all these things cost more money. So we are trying to get there, and we will try and build the club up as we go along. We'll keep improving. There's room for improvement still. But at the end of the day, it is the season tickets that dictate a budget for the football club. And, the more people that buy season tickets, the better, of course. But, if we could get the 5,000 people every week, then, of course, the budget gets higher. It's no secret that that's the case. And you can maybe speculate on a few more what we call marquee players, because they cost a little bit more. Because I think people forget sometimes that if you look at the 3 teams at the top there that were getting between 7 and 10, 12, 15,000, you can only use 55% of your intake from the gate, which means we're on a lot less than most of those teams that got promoted or are up there in the playoffs at the moment. So the more supporters you get, it's chicken and egg really. The more supporters you get buying season tickets and coming through the gate, the more money you can spend to bring in the marquee players that everybody wants. So not pushing anyone, because we're grateful for the ones that are already, that are season ticket holders from this year and the early ones this year. But if you can do it, if we all get it done by Monday, then I'll be much appreciated.
Perfect. Cheers, Gaffer.
No, Rob, thanks.